Have you ever seen a plant that just looks like it's from another planet? One that seems to defy gravity itself, growing right off a wall with absolutely no pot, no soil in sight? Well, today we're diving deep into the incredible world of the Staghorn Fern.
I mean, look at this thing. It's really less of a plant and more of a living, breathing sculpture, right? With these huge branching leaves that look like something out of a sci-fi movie. Alien antlers, basically. It is hands down one of the most dramatic houseplants you can possibly grow. But all that bizarre beauty, it's hiding a really fascinating biological puzzle.
And yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? How in the world does something this massive, this lush, survive its entire life stuck to a piece of wood? Well, the answer is actually surprisingly elegant. And you know what? It's the absolute key to you successfully growing one yourself.
Okay, so to crack this mystery, we've got to look at the plant's unique anatomy. And really, it all comes down to this brilliant two-part system it has going on.
So here's the secret. The staghorn actually has two totally different kinds of leaves, or fronds as they're called. You've got the big, showy antler fronds, the ones that give the plant its name, obviously. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is happening right there in that round plate-like leaf at the base. That little guy is called a shield frond.
And why does it have this weird structure? Well, it's because staghorns are something called epiphytes. Now, that's a super important word to know here. It just means they grow on other plants, usually way up high in trees. But, and this is key, they're not parasites. No. They're just using the tree as like a high-rise apartment, catching all their own water and food from the air and whatever junk falls from the canopy above.
So get this. Each type of frond has a completely different job. The antler fronds, they're kind of for show and for making baby ferns. They produce the spores. But the shield fronds? Oh, they are the home and the pantry. They anchor the plant, they protect those delicate little roots, and, this is the brilliant part, they grow upwards to catch all the falling leaves, rain, and whatever else, which then rots down into its own personal, built-in compost pile. How cool is that?
Okay, understanding that built-in compost bin idea, that's everything. It's the whole game. Because when we bring a staghorn fern into our home, our job isn't to pot it in the traditional sense. Nope. Our job is to recreate the side of a tree. So let's dive into how that idea shapes our entire care routine. So, think about it. Every single choice you make, mounting it on a board, the way you water it, how you feed it, it's all about mimicking its natural home. And honestly, once you really get that, caring for this plant becomes so much easier, almost intuitive. You're basically just pretending to be a rainforest.
And light isn't just about keeping it alive. It's about style. It's about aesthetics. You actually get to be the artist here. So, do you want those long, dramatic, weeping fronds? Find a spot with lower, indirect light. Or, would you rather have a more compact, upright, kind of architectural look? Brighter light is your friend. See, you are in control of how this living sculpture turns out.
All right, let's talk watering, because this is super important. These guys evolved way up in trees where rain comes and then it's gone. Their roots are just not built to be soaking wet all the time. They will rot, like, really easily. So the best way to water is to just soak the entire root ball in a sink or a bucket for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then, and this is crucial, let it drip dry completely. Don't even think about watering it again until that moss feels light and dry. Seriously, when in doubt, just let it dry out.
Okay, so we've got where it lives and how it drinks. But how does it eat in our homes? I mean, there aren't a bunch of leaves falling on it in your living room, right? Well, that brings us to what might be the most important and honestly the most often forgotten part of staghorn care: fertilizer. I absolutely love this quote because it is just so true. A staghorn can survive for a while on just water and light, but it is never, ever going to become one of those magnificent, huge specimens you see in pictures without regular feeding. It's literally the difference between a plant that's just alive and one that is absolutely thriving.
So, what do you feed it? Okay, when you look at a fertilizer package, you're going to see three numbers. That's the NPK ratio for nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Don't get too hung up on it. A balanced one, where the numbers are all the same, like 10, 10, 10, or 20, 20, 20, is a perfect all-around choice. Now, if you really want to push for faster growth on those big antler fronds, look for something with a higher first number. That's the nitrogen. But here's the golden rule. Whatever you use, always dilute it to half strength. Always.
Look, for most of us growing these things indoors, a simple water-soluble fertilizer is absolutely the way to go. It's just easy. It's easy to control, it feeds the plant right away when you're soaking it, and it's super effective. Those slow-release granules, kind of tricky to use on a vertical mount. And fish emulsion, well, yeah, it works great, but trust me, your living room will not appreciate the smell.
And hey, if you want to get a little DIY, you can try this fun supplement, banana peel tea. It's meant to mimic that natural decay of stuff falling on the fern in the wild. The banana gives it potassium, and the Epsom salt adds a little magnesium, which is great for keeping it green. Now, this isn't a full meal, okay? Think of it more like a fantastic, gentle little snack for your fern in between its regular feedings.
Oh, absolutely. And this is a big one. You have to remember, these plants evolved in a place where nutrients were pretty scarce. Their whole system is not built for a constant feast. So giving them too much fertilizer is way more dangerous than giving them too little. Those fertilizer salts build up fast, and they can literally burn the delicate roots and even the shield fronds.
So you need to be on the lookout for these warning signs. If you see sudden brown or black tips on the fronds, or a white crusty buildup on the moss, or, and this one's kind of weird, new growth that seems stunted and just isn't taking off, those are all major red flags. If you see any of that, the fix is simple. Just flush the whole mount with plain water for a while and stop feeding it for at least a month.
Okay, let's pull all this together. We've kind of decoded the Staghorn's secrets, haven't we? You now have the blueprint for not just keeping one of these things alive, but for helping it really truly thrive.
So let's do a quick recap. The essentials. 1. Remember it has 2 different kinds of fronds, doing 2 different jobs. 2. Your goal is to mimic the side of a tree. 3. Feed it weekly, but do it regularly in the spring and summer. 4. Soaking is your best friend. Don't just spritz it. And above all else, the golden rule for these amazing plants is always, less is more. Please, don't kill it with kindness.
You know, caring for a staghorn fern is more like a partnership. It's an exercise in patience and just watching. This isn't just another houseplant you can stick in a corner and forget about. It's a piece of evolving, living art that you get to guide and grow, maybe for years, even decades. So the real question isn't just, can you grow this plant? It's, are you ready to become a sculptor?